Wherever I go on this wretched island, I hear your name, always half-whispered, as if you were a god. All I see is flesh, blood.
Welcome everybody to another BDA film analysis. In this broadcast we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming IBF Welterweight Championship bout between Kell Brook, 36 wins, 1 loss, 25 knockouts, against Errol Spence Jr., 21 wins, 0 losses, with 18 knockouts. The fight will take place in Sheffield, England at Bramall Lane Football Ground, an outdoor soccer stadium, football I should say, and which means we're going to have a raucous crowd. It's going to be a fun atmosphere like the one we had for Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko. It's going to be very exciting. The other reason why it's going to be very exciting, well, it's the matchup itself. It pits Errol Spence Jr., the heir apparent, the next big thing in the boxing world, according to some people, against Kell Brook, his biggest test so far, who is a skilled fighter with heavy hands. He went up to middleweight against Gennady Golovkin, really gave it his all. He was just overpowered against Golovkin. But, I mean, he gave it a good old go. Couldn't quite match Golovkin's strength, nor his power, and ultimately fell in the 5th round. But now he's going back down. Can he handle the cut weight? Will his body be able to refresh itself one day after the weigh-in and be able to compete against Errol Spence, who is a tough physical fighter? And is he, Kell Brook, too much for Errol Spence at this point in time? Those are all very interesting questions. I don't know how good Errol Spence is going to be. But one thing I can tell you is he has weaknesses, just as he has strengths. Same thing with Kell Brook. And like always in a BDA film analysis, we're going to take a look at those strengths, we're going to take a look at those weaknesses, and we're going to see how they might play off against one another during the fight. So let's start off with Errol Spence Jr. Let's take a look at his strengths, which include his footwork, his control of distance, and his firepower. First of all, when he starts off the fights, he doesn't come forward right away. Sorry for the lag. This thing's gonna lag a little bit every once in a while, by the way, so bear with me. See, he takes little steps back. See how he does that? Let's rewind that. He takes little steps back, doesn't run. He's always in position to answer back with something. He's always calm, always keeping his eyes on his opponent, has a high guard. See, against Chris Algieri here. Here he's against Chris Van Heerden. And here he does something which is emblematic of the amateur style from which he spawned, which is an in and out. See, boom, out, and then back in. See that? And here against Barrera, he does the same thing. He goes out, back in. He shifts his weight. He puts his weight on his back leg. See that? And then he springs back forward, boom, boom, with a hard 1-2. See again, in, back out. Now, that's his footwork. It's very controlled, very measured footwork. He doesn't exaggerate it. He doesn't run all over the ring. He starts setting up his offense with a strong jab. See how far away he throws it? Look how far away he is, and see how he leaps with his his right foot forward, his lead foot. See his lead foot? He seems to be pretty far away, right? Whoa, how's he gonna get it to Van Heerden here? Well, what he does is he leaps forward, full extension on his jab, or almost full extension, and he's able to land that hard, accurate jab. Let's take a look at more examples here. See, he's doing it from afar. And then he steps back a little bit, steps back, avoids the incoming fire. Let's just rewind that a little bit. Then he goes to the body with the jab. He starts mixing it up in there for the incoming firepower that he has in reserve. See, jabs to the body. Whether it's against a southpaw or righty, he goes to the body. And then see, after setting everything up with the jab, he finally opens up with those hard right uppercuts of his, those hooks. I mean, everything in the arsenal. Body shots, look at that. That's his game right there, Errol Spence. He's an inside fighter. A lot of people, I'm just going to let you show that for a minute there. He backs up a little bit. A lot of people have compared him to Floyd Mayweather in terms of how dominant he's going to be in terms of style, stylistically, he's not a Floyd Mayweather. He's more of a, the way I describe him is a southpaw Lamont Peterson. Difference is, I think he's heavier-handed than Lamont Peterson, and he's an overall better fighter because of his technique. But he is in the same vein of a Lamont Peterson, meaning he's an inside fighter. Yes, he can lip in and out, he has a good jab, but so far against the opposition he's been against, he prefers to come forward and really try to just destroy his opponents and wear him down with his body shots. Here we see him jabbing to the body again, and then see he mixes it up upstairs with a 1-2. So he's varying his attack up and down. And then when he gets the guy inside, oof. And that's the other thing. Now we're going to take a look at his left hand. He's got a nice, strong, straight left hand. See how he hurts guys? And here, this one, look at this. Slow motion, right? He dips to his left because Algieri threw a left counter hook. So he kind of pushed Errol Spence down, but Errol Spence nevertheless manages to get that left hand off, and boom, see that? That's a type of short, compact left hand that you don't see coming, and that hurts guys, and he hurt Algieri there. Again, look at that left hand. Ooh. Don't get it wrong here. Errol Spence is a power puncher. Okay, he's not a one-punch knockout. When people hear the word power puncher, they think, oh, well, I don't see him knocking guys out with one punch. Well, you don't have to necessarily, and especially I'll tell you something about Errol Spence right now. He's not going to be knocking guys out with one shot, especially as his opposition goes up in quality. But he does have the type of heavy hands combined with his precision and his body attack that will wear guys down in the long haul. And here you can see, man, that left hand of his, how it's pushes guys back, and look, see, that's the other thing about it. It's the technique. He's punching through the target. See how he does it? How he does that? That's something you can work in the pads too, not just practicing the precision and tapping the pads. I mean, really trying to punch through them, and that's what he does. And then he gets out of the way. 1-2. See, a long 1-2. I mean, you can see here the way he snaps guys' heads back. You can see how he wears them down if they take those punches long enough, right? Doesn't matter who you are, you take those punches flush to the face, you're going to be worn down. Here's Chris Algieri taking it as well. And then this is what happens. Let me rewind this. Once he's done setting up the 1-2, he closes the distance very quickly and then launches a body attack. That right hook. See how he digs it in there? Oof. And then that's the thing. He throws a left hook here, so he can throw left hooks. Almost takes Barrera's head off there, or a right hook on the inside. And it's very interesting what he does, because once he's done throwing the left hand, people try to avoid it. See here Barrera moving to his left, trying to avoid the left hand, and what happens next? Boom. Errol Spence uncorks the right hook. He throws it to the body, he throws it upstairs. Here he's throwing it to the body. Here's the body again. See Algieri moving to his left, trying to get away from that. Hold on. See, he's trying to get away from the left hand, and what happens? Errol Spence catches him with a right hook. Doesn't matter where you go, he's going to catch you with something. See here, changing angles, boom, right hook. And he's got power, man. He starts wearing guys down with those shots. See, left hook to the body, right hook. See, he started off with a left hook to the body. Waiting for this thing to stop lagging. It's been lagging a lot on me lately, this motherfucker. Alright. See, boom, left hook. And this is what I love Errol Spence, because he doesn't go in there to try to outpoint guys. He wants to come forward and not leave it up in the hands of the judges. Look how much leverage he gets into the right hook. See that? He's leaping into the right hook. Boom. He wants to hurt guys. In boxing, it's good that we have a variety of styles. Otherwise, it would be boring, right? But every once in a while, you want to see guys going for the kill, and that's what Spence does. He doesn't want to leave it up to the judges, and if he does go the distance, he wants to beat up the guy as much as possible so that the judges go, okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he kept going forward and kept going to the body and kept throwing power punches. See now here, throwing uppercuts, so he can throw uppercuts when he's done with everything else. And now here, I'm going to show you how he cuts off the ring. Look at that, little steps forward. Once he's done analyzing his opponent, he wants to go forward. See, he goes forward, and then when the guy says, I'm gonna, because you know Van Heerden here, who's a good fighter by the way, He's moving. He says, okay, I gotta do something to push him back. Otherwise, he's gonna be dictating everything. So he throws two jabs, and Errol Spence just takes 2 little steps back, and then another little step forward. So he's back in position to putting pressure again. Here against Algieri. See how he cuts off the ring? And he cuts off the distance as well. Why? Because he's doing it behind a good little pawing right jab. He doesn't panic. Even when the guy counters, he still takes a little step back. See there? Boom. Little step back. And still ready to put pressure on it. And Algieri has good footwork. Look at him. He's doing the right things, but so is Errol Spence. And Algieri's footwork saved him against Pacquiao, allowed him to survive, and allowed him to outbox Provodnikov. But here, couldn't quite cut it against Errol Spence. See again here, Barrera doing the right things, moving, trying to keep that left hand out. But see, Spence won't let him. He's jabbing. Let's look at it again. And this isn't Barrera wanting to move. This is him having to move because of the pressure that Spence is putting on. See here, Spence moving to the side, not following. He's really cutting off the ring. So Barrera has that left hand out, and Spence says, okay, I'm going to throw a jab to get you out of position. So Barrera takes a little step back. Now he's on the ropes. Spence still doesn't pounce. He's watching to see what happens. See here, Barrera feints, tries to get him out of position. Spence jabs right back. And now Barrera is in a position to get out. But Spence right away is right back to cutting off the ring, not allowing him to escape. That type of pressure wears guys down. And then what also wears guys down is once he's done closing the distance, he goes on the attack. And man, what an attack it is. There he takes a couple of shots to the body, but he still maintains his composure. Here against Algieri, cutting off. But see how quick he closes the distance. So it's not just an issue of good foot technique. It's how fast he goes on the inside. Look at that. Boom. And guys panic a little bit. They don't know what to do. I mean, here's Algieri trying to fight back, moving back, but he's taking punishment. And then the shots come from all over the place. We showed you how he can throw all the punches in the arsenal. Well, now here he is demonstrating it on the inside. See, he blocks here, very relaxed. He's an offensive fighter, so he knows he's gonna get hit. He's not worried about that. He's worried about getting his offense. Look at that, boom, uppercuts, right hooks to the body. He mixes it all in there. My goodness gracious. This is his game. You don't want to be there on the inside against Spence. Here, how he throws a 1-2 and changes angles. Boom, right hook to the body. He's always working the body. Very diligent body puncher. Here again, changes angles. And then he doesn't just go on to the body when he has guy pinned on the ropes. He can also go to the body in the center of the ring. Look at that. Hooks. He always starts out with a jab, and see how he keeps his guy in position with the jab? So he's done throwing the shots to the body, right? And then see, boom, boom, boom. See that jab? Controlling his opponent. Uppercuts to the body. Hooks to the body. Doubled Van Heerden over there with that right hook to the body. Let me just show you that again because it's a beautiful shot. And there's more where that came from, by the way. We're not done yet. We're just scratching the surface here. Look at that. Boom. My goodness gracious. See here, Van Heerden trying to take it, but that one he couldn't take. He had to back off. You don't want to stay in there in the middle of the ring or pin up against the ropes against Spence. He's just going to outwork you. And there, ooh, beautiful uppercut to the body. And look at this finishing sequence here. Look how much power he's getting, how much torque, how much leverage into his shots. I mean, those are murderous shots. Again, not one-punch knockout power, but it's the type of power that hurts good guys. Look like Algieri too. He doesn't know what to do in there. He's trying to fight back, he's trying to move, but Spence just cuts off the ring, cuts off all the escape avenues, all the escape routes, and just keeps coming with those combinations from all over the place. Uppercuts, hooks, can't say it enough. Uppercuts, hooks, uppercuts, hooks, uppercut, hooks. Want me to say it again? I'll say it again, motherfuckers. Then see, there's another thing he can do very well. He's not just a pressure fighter, he's also a catch and shoot fighter. See, he catches that left hand and comes back with the left of his own. Here he catches the right hook and comes up with a right hook of his own. And then with the left hand. And here you see him catching and then rolling with some shots. He can roll, it's not really his style, but I mean, he was a high-level amateur, so he knows how to do a little bit of everything in there. See how he changed the angles there? Look at this. And then here we see something that I really enjoyed about him is it's not only his strength, but little tricks that he does, especially when it comes to control. See, he rams his left hand into Algieri, boom, and then he keeps it there, controlling Algieri, also serving to blind Algieri a little bit, doesn't know where the punches are coming from, and he launches a right hook to the body. And then he launches another right hook, he jabs, but then you see what he does there? He keeps that right hand out there, again, controlling and blinding Algieri, and then he throws left hand. Again, see here, controlling the head. Now, this is illegal, obviously, if you know about the rules of boxing, but the referee doesn't say anything, and this is professional boxing. If you can get away with it, good for you. And he's getting away. And then he goes to the body after controlling the head. Keeps going to that body. See how he's controlling the back of the head? There he was warned. There I think he was also warned, but he got a left uppercut in there. No, he wasn't warned, and he got the shot in there. Here again, holding the head, going to the body, holding the head, and then boom, a left hand. Here again, another knockdown. See how he controls the head there? The guy ducks, Algieri ducks. Spence controls. He's keep him in pin there, and then once with the elbow, he turns him. And as Algieri's coming out, he doesn't see the left hand coming, and boom, he goes down. Now let's take a look at some of Spence's weaknesses, because he does have weaknesses, despite what people out there might say. First of all, he leans back a little too much. I don't like it. See here against Van Heerden. He leans back. He's got nowhere to go. He's very close. Why is he leaning back this close up? I don't know. And then he's going to take a shot to the body there. And he didn't like it. I don't know if you can see by the quality of the video, but from my monitor here, I can see him kind of, he didn't like that body shot. See here again, leaning back, and he's up against the ropes there. He's got nowhere to go here. And the left hand from Van Heerden grazes him. But he was lucky he didn't catch him. Here he is not so lucky. Here, boom, see, he catches it, boom, catches it again. Now the other thing is this, that left hand of his, look at Spence's left hand, a little too late pulling it back up. Here he gets his feet tangled. Look at Errol Spence's feet. See how they get tangled? He's off balance. He just leans, he falls back onto the corner and eats the shots. Again, see here how he keeps his left hand up? It's not blocking his chin now, is it? Wide open. And I know it's against a southpaw, and Kell Brook is not a southpaw, but still, you don't want to see a guy like Spence. You don't want to see a guy against a power puncher like Brook keeping such a little sloppy defense like that. And then again, he gets hit. He's open for left hands. Here, you're going to see him overshooting the right hook. He gets countered with the right hand. Here, he's loading up, telegraphing that right hook, and Van Heerden throws an overhand left. Thankfully, for Spence, it missed. Nevertheless, he doesn't really want to do that against Brook, loading up so much, being so obvious with his offense. He's going to get countered because Brook is a good counterpuncher, so he has to be a little more tight in his game than that. The other thing is this. I showed you how Spence jabs very well, but he keeps his head on the same axis. See here? Same axis. Doesn't move it. Doesn't jab from a different angle. Again, look at that. See here? Allows him to get hit with left hands and right hands. It lagged in there. I'm just going to rewind that for you guys. See? Same axis. Gets hit. Doesn't move it a whole lot. See? Even against righties. And it's not just a question, he's hitting right hands there. It's not just a question of, again, the same old battle that's been going on for centuries between right-handers and southpaws, which is the positioning of the feet. See how Barrera has his left foot outside of Spence's right foot, which allows him to have superior angles on him, superior positioning, which allows him to land that right hand. But it's not just the positioning of the feet, it's the positioning of the head. Like I said, look, always on the same axis. He doesn't move it left or right. Now, this might be because he's so confident in his chin. Maybe it's because he knows the guys he's fighting at this point can't hurt him. But against Brook, he's going to have a bit of a wake-up call. See here, he gets countered with a right hook. almost gets caught with a right uppercut again there. So he's open for that right uppercut because his head is always in the same axis. So if a guy dips to his right, they see there, right uppercut. Takes it very well, and he still stays in there. He doesn't flinch. Again, they're caught with a right hook, almost caught with a left uppercut. So he's confident, but why? I mean, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. I mean, it's his style. When you're an offensive fighter like Errol Spence, you're going to have to take chances, and you're going to have to be willing to get hit. But still, against Kell Brook, like I said, he's going to have to be a little more defensively responsible. Here he's open to the body shots. See, a feint. Barrera feints him, and look how high his hands are, Spence's hands are, and how wide open his body is. And you saw him getting hit with a left hook before. Here he gets hit by a right hook. I'm going to rewind that to show you a little more the body shots that he gets hit with. See there again. Feint. He's open for the right hook. I don't know why this lags at this point in this video. Something with the codec, I don't know. Let's see. Right hook to the body. Left hook to the body. Left hook to the body. Well, that's the same replay there. Right hook to the body. He's wide open for that. And Brook, who is not a body puncher, as we're going to see later on, but nevertheless, if he chooses to go to the body, there is that opening. Here, another feint. And he's wide open. Here is a fight from the World Championships in 2011. I know, a long time ago, and that was back when he was an amateur, but it just shows you something about Spence that hasn't really changed up to this point in his career, and that is that he is open, that the combinations freeze him. Here is against Sapiev, I should say, from Kazakhstan, who eventually won a gold medal in the 2012 Olympics. And you see here, Sapiev, not really a big power puncher, more like a pity pat style, but he is freezing Spence with those combinations. And here you can see Barrera throwing more than 2 punches, and what does Spence do? Look at that, just keeps his hands up, doesn't counter, doesn't move his head. He just stays there. There, he's throwing. So you see how he throws. When you throw combinations at him, he's just gonna block, wait for it to be done, and then he's gonna come back with his own offense. Here, he's exchanging with Van Heerden, a little too wide open for my taste. And then he allows himself to be spun. Eats a couple of body shots. Again, the body shot. Open for that. And then here he gets his head controlled a little bit. See? So he can control the guy's head. But again, the name of the game. You live by the sword. You live by the gun. You die by the gun. Well, here gets controlled a little bit. Barrera, who is not known to employ those type of tactics, nevertheless was able to see here, push him down a little bit. So there is that weakness from Spence, that he can be controlled as well. He is open to the body. He's a little too open for shots because he doesn't move his head. And as we're going to see, Kell Brook has very good precision, and he does have little tricks of his own when it comes to controlling guys. Now let's take a look at Brook's strengths, which include also his footwork, his control at the distance, and his offensive firepower. Very similar to Errol Spence Jr. So here we're going to see Errol Spence again. Kell Brook, just like Errol Spence, he takes little steps backwards. He's not a big mover. He doesn't dance around the ring. Even against Golovkin, he didn't quite move. He wasn't bouncing up and down the ring. So here he takes little steps back. Here he is against Sean Porter. See what he does there? Beautiful footwork. Little steps back, doesn't panic. See, steps back, counters, jabs, pivots with the hook, keeps his guy turning. See how he's pivoting, little pivots, never in the same angle. Ooh. Porter trying to work his way inside. Brook controlling him with the jab, little steps back, clinches. Again here, little step back, 1-2, pivots out of the way, changes directions. Beautiful footwork by Kell Brook, really. This is gonna be... See how I showed you the clips of all the other guys Spence was fighting. He's never fought a guy with a footwork like Kell Brook. Look at this. How is he gonna be able to cut off the ring? That's gonna be a very exciting thing to see. Because Brook, look at this, he has very good movement. Look at that. And then he controls the head and counters with rights, gets out of the way, takes back the center of the ring. And then pivots with shots, right? Right hook, and he pivots, controls the head, pivots, changing direction, he's jabbing, doesn't panic, counters with a left hook, counters with a right hand, counters with a left hook. Okay, so now this. He's a very good judge of distance, as you saw, defensively. Offensively, look how far away he is from Jojo Dan, who is a southpaw, just like Errol Spence. You would figure, man, how can he get a punch on Jojo Dan's face? He's so far away. Well, he implodes with his back foot and then leans forward a little bit. Boom, hits him with the right hand. He squares himself up, but then he's right back in position. Here you see he throws a 1-2 against Shevchenko. Let's take a look at that again, slow motion. See, he throws a 1-2, but then stops there. See how he plants his feet? Because if he keeps going one more inch forward, he's liable to smother his own work. So he takes stand and boom, launches a right uppercut. Now Shevchenko, he's panicking, he's moving, he doesn't know what to do. Meanwhile, Brook is still in position to keep throwing punches. And here, the other thing I like about Kell Brook is he's got good control of the distance, good mechanics, good technique. And he also has very good reflexes, as we're gonna see here. See, he's able to lean back away from punches. I'm not a fan of the lean back, but it does look good, and it does demonstrate that he's got very good reflexes. See there, those good reflexes combined with his good footwork allow him to be very hard to hit. He controls. See how he controls Golovkin there. Making Golovkin miss, making him pay. Boom. See? Glove there controlling the head. Boom, right hand. Again, controls, right hand up, right hand counter. And then here's the thing that also Kell Brook does from the beginning of the fights. From the start, he will jab. He will establish a jab because he knows, like every good fighter out there should know, that the jab is the key to opening up your offense. And his jab is strong, it's fast, and it's accurate. It allows him to outbox guys, it allows him to open up with the rest of his offense, and it also allows him to pile up points. It's a nice straight jab. He throws it from afar. He's able to get it in there. See how he snaps guys' heads back? Even against southpaw. And see, that's the thing. People think that, against southpaw, that's usually been what people always say is the right hand is the best weapon against a southpaw. But really, any weapon is good as long as you know how to use it. And a good left hand will work wonders against a southpaw. Here he's countering with the jab. See Sean Porter trying to work his way inside, but he can't because Brook he keeps ramming that jab in his face and it hurts. So then also, after the jab comes the right hand. He's got a very good right hand. Again, like Errol Spence, Kell Brook is a power puncher. If you compare it to the rest of the boxers out there in the welterweight division, he is a heavy-handed guy. So is Danny Garcia, so is Keith Thurman, so is Sean Porter to a certain extent. But Kell Brook has the type of shots. Look at that. He can counter with the right hand. He can lead with it. It's a very strong right hand. How is Spence gonna take that? And then afterwards, let's take a look at his 1-2. Again, look at the power in his 1-2. It's the type of power that wears guys down. He hasn't fought a lot of... look, his best opponent was Sean Porter. He couldn't quite get him out, but he did hurt him in this sequence right here. Look at this. Boom. See how he took a little bit of Sean Porter's legs out of him, under him? The lower tier guys that Spence and Brook fight, they're not going to survive that type of power. Other guys are going to, but still, this is power that hurts. And see here, here's what he's doing here. He's no longer against Shevchenko. He's no longer throwing the right hand straight. He's throwing it as a power punch, meaning he's lifting. See how he's lifting the elbow more and shortening the distance. Now it hits the top of the head, the temple, and that's what hurts guys. Look at this, boom. So he can throw it straight. He can arch it more as a power punch to knock guys out. And here he leads with the right hand, comes back with the left. Again, that's what he does here. He can lead with the left hook. He can lead with the hook and then put the right hand behind it. He can counter with the hook again. He can counter with the left hook. Lead with an uppercut, left uppercut. He leads with the left uppercut again. He can throw hooks. If a guy just keeps his earmuffs on and allows him to do it. See, here he comes with the right hand and then follows it up with a left uppercut. And then he throws that right uppercut, which I would argue is his best. He's got a good left uppercut, but it's really the right one, the right uppercut. That's a power punch. Look at this, boom. And you saw how Errol Spence might be open to counter uppercuts if Kell Brook decides to dip to his right whenever Errol Spence throws his 1-2. Kell Brook could have a chance to land that right uppercut of his. And look at that. This is my favorite sequence. He lifted Golovkin off the ground with it. Look at this, boom. Now this is the thing that Brook is going to have to do. He's a 1-2 type of guy. He's a counter puncher. He likes to pot shot guys. He's not a big combination puncher if he doesn't have to. But against Errol Spence, I would suggest he does so, because most of the time he'll just throw a right hand, and especially against Jojo Dan, he threw right hands, but he didn't follow him up with anything else. He's going to have to against Errol Spence. Here you see him, he knows how to throw good combinations. And against Golovkin, where he was in survival mode, he had to throw those combinations. I mean, not survival mode in the sense that he was on the defensive. What I mean was his back was against the wall, and he had to open up. And see here, when he decides to let the combinations go, they start flowing. Look at that. And he has power. Look how he's rocking Golovkin's head back. He's going to have to do this both to freeze Spence and to get some respect. Again, look at that. Lead left hook, right hand, right uppercut, lead left hook, right hand. I mean, look at this. Beautiful combinations with Kell Brook. Has to do a little bit more than that. I mean, a little bit more of that. Now here is something that I want him to do more of. He has to go to the body when he's on the inside. He's not a big body puncher like most European fighters. Seldom do you see good European fighters going to the body. Yeah, there are exceptions. Ricky Hatton comes to mind right away. But for the most part, they don't really like going to the body. He's going to have to do this. Remember, Errol Spence opened to the body after you feint him especially. So here he is, Kell Brook, on a rare occasion going to the body. This right hook to the body, I would suggest I want to see him throw a lot of that against Spence. Wear him down. Spence has a thin waist, by the way. Have you seen Errol Spence's waist? It's very thin, very unusually thin. So you should be able to wear that down if you punch it enough. And here is Kell Brook. He's a good defensive fighter, like I showed you. Good footwork, good reflexes. His last line of defense, though, is the clinch. Here he is against Sean Porter. It made the fight against Porter easier than, say, Keith Thurman's own fight against Porter. But then again, I still have couple of other things to say about the clinches. Alright, I'm not done with the clinches. But I mean, that's for later. So here again, we're still on Kell Brook's strength. Just like Errol Spence, he can control the hand. See? I mean, he controls the head with his own left hand. Look at this. Control, boom, right hand. Control, right hand. It's like, again, it's illegal, but if you can get away with it, it can lead to good results such as this, a knockdown. And Errol Spence has never fought a guy who does this a lot to him. So we'll see what happens. Now let's move on to Kell Brook's weaknesses. Where are we at now, by the way? 33 minutes? Alright. Not that bad. Not that bad at all. Again, like I say, I wasn't done with the clinches, right guys? Well, he was against Sean Porter, first round, and he's clinching for dear life. I jumped to the 8th round because I'm just scratching the surface with the clinches here, guys. I didn't feel like going through all of the clinches because, quite frankly, it's boring. I'm just going to give you a little taste of how much he clinches. Look at this. Somebody's been watching Andrew Ward tapes in there. Again, you know, if you're fighting a guy who's as good as Sean Porter on the inside and you can't fight on the inside, okay, I say go for the clinch. Nevertheless, I don't like the clinches. It's excessive, and the ref never took away any points. That's excessive clinching right there, and it just shows you also that he might not know what to do on the inside. And against Spence, that's a bad idea. I mean, that's a bad outlook. That's a bad future. He doesn't know how to fight on the inside. Against Spence, who does fight on the inside, yeesh, it's gonna be ugly in there. So I think we're gonna see a lot of clinching once Spence gets in there. But if he doesn't, if he can't clinch, look at this. See how Joe Dan throwing? He's open for the hooks here, Spence, and Jojo Dan sort of slapping in there, doesn't really quite know what to do. But I tell you what, Spence will know what to do. He's gonna hurt him. He's gonna hurt Brook. See, he's open for the uppercuts to the body. Here, he catches a right hook on the inside. Again, a right hook on the inside. Jojo Dan is not a big puncher, but he was able to get those punches in. Now imagine what Spence can do. Now also here, Brook open for the left hand. 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the idea, right, guys? Now this is boxing. Of course, guys are gonna get hit. And of course, guys are gonna make technical mistakes. I'm not pointing these technical mistakes out to denigrate fighters and say they suck, because there's no such thing as perfect technique once you're in the ring. It's impossible. Maybe you can pull it off in shadow boxing, but once you actually get in there with a guy who's got gloves on, he's trying to rip your head off, technique tends to slip a little, alright? Nevertheless, you are seeing Brook here getting hit with a lot of left hands. And I'm gonna show you in slow motion a clip later on, but see here, where Golovkin went downstairs and then upstairs, and he wobbled him. Now, why is this happening? Because Kell Brook has a tendency to dip always to his right side. I think that's because he wants to set himself up to launch his right uppercut, but he always does it. It's a habit of his. Always, see, always dipping to his right side, and his right glove, is always in position to block the incoming fire. See how far away his left glove is from his chin? If a guy feints, or if a guy throws enough left hands to the body like Jojo Dan is doing here, and then all of a sudden switches it up and goes upstairs, it might be lights out for Brook. See here again, dipping to the right. And his left hand is down, he can't... Well, there he puts it up finally. Another thing I don't like, much like with Spence, sometimes Brook relies too much on his reflexes and keeps his head on the same axis. See there? Catches an overhand right. See there? He's leaning back. He's not moving his head. And by the way, where is he dipping to? The right side. He's got nowhere to go. And he gets hit with a right hand. Again, right hand. He gets wobbled there. Gets caught with a jab, leans back, has nowhere to go there, see? If Errol Spence goes into attack Viking blitzkrieg mode and doesn't care about the incoming fire, he's gonna catch Brook in there. Now see here, the thing I don't like about Brook is he throws a right hand, and like I said before, he doesn't follow it up with the left. He just barges in and falls into a clinch. He doesn't want to fall on the inside against Errol Spence. Again, right hand falls to the clinch and doesn't come back with anything. And again, well, there he comes back with something, finally. But he doesn't do it all that often. He has to follow it up. He has to follow up the right hands with something else. See here, when he led with that left uppercut and he actually hit Jojo Dan with the shoulder there, boom. But then he's off balance. And he falls on the inside. Now the ref separated them. I don't know why he separated them. But if he finds himself in this position against Spence, it's not going to be good. Again, here throws a right hand and doesn't follow it up. Now here what happened was, see how he gets his head controlled in there? He allows himself to be controlled. And like I showed you before, Spence, just like Brook, they both do it. So it's going to be a question of who can do it first. But he can be controlled. Here we're going to see Sean Porter doing it as well. To Kell Brook, see there? So, it's going to be a very exciting fight. Errol Spence has never fought anybody like Kell Brook. He's never fought anybody with the technique of Brook, the power, the hand speed, the experience. Brook, however, the X factor is whether he can come back down from middleweight and still be good enough to compete at welterweight without... I mean, we also remember what happened to Roy Jones when he boiled himself down back to light heavyweight after moving up to heavyweight, and it didn't look good. So this is going to be an interesting fight. The key for Errol Spence is going to have to be keep a tight off defense. Keep those gloves up. Don't worry too much about the incoming fire, but at the same time, worry about it. What I'm trying to say is, I know it's a paradox, but he has to maintain his fighting style, which is don't give a damn, come forward, don't worry about what the other guy is doing. But at the same time, keep those hands up and be defensively responsible enough so that you don't catch any one big shot that might put your lights out. He also needs to work behind a tight jab. Kell Brook can't see them really coming. He leans back too much. So every time you throw a 1-2 end with a right hook or a right jab, because Brooks' head is going to be all the way back, and he's going to get caught with those type of shots. And go to the body. Test Brook. Like I said, he might be boiling himself down and killing himself to make 147, so test that body. Go to the body. Kell Brook, same thing. He has to go to the body, because I don't think that Errol Spence has never been tested that way to the body. He might have had hard sparring sessions with world-class guys, but that's with 16-ounce gloves on. Here it's going to be 8-ounce gloves. So Brook has to go to the body, test the young man, and essentially keep the distance. Keep a long distance between himself and Errol Spence. Brook is a better outside fighter, and Spence, he keeps those gloves up, which is going to allow Brook to be able to circle around him and pivot away, because when a guy is always, he's got his hands up, he squares himself up a little bit, which allows guys to maneuver side to side against him. So that's what Kell Brook has to do. He has to stay mobile, but at the same time stay offensive. Throw combinations, freeze Errol Spence in order to raise his hands up, Spence's guard up, which will then allow Brook to circle around him and pivot away. So that's what each guy has to do. I invite you guys to tell us what you thought about the analysis. What did I get wrong? What did I get right? Please leave some comments. As always, subscribe. Like the video. Tell me what you think about it. Watch some of our other videos, and also tell us, I should say, what other videos you want us to do. What other analysis? Do you want us to analyze a specific fighter? Do you want us to analyze a specific fight from the past or an upcoming fight? Just tell us everything you think, everything you want to say, everything that's on your mind. We here at BDA listen, and we will see you on the next one.